What's going on? Season Gaming Bitcast. It's Saturday early afternoon, and we are here and ready to rock and roll. Myself, Halo episode 117. We didn't tell Dan ahead of time. This is going to be a 4.5 hour special all about Halo canon and lore, and Dan is going to lead us in that charge. So this should be a fun one. If you don't usually tune into us, that's a lie. It's not going to be a 4.5 hour Halo episode, so don't leave just yet. So I am Ainsley Bowden. I am joined by the ghost or reincarnation of Steve Jobs, also known as Dan Rodriguez. I don't know if you guys knew that Dan was also Steve Jobs at one point in time.
Yeah, I'm making my comeback. Yeah, I need to go in there and kick ass.
Well, good, because we're going to talk about iOS. We need you to fix some shit up.
I'm coming back.
And joining us for the first time, and the very elusive, hard to find, hard to nail down, Mr. Shaun LaBrie. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How's it going?
Good. Don't
nice.
Keep the enthusiasm. Don't.
Hold on, I need a little bit more coffee.
Yeah, just.
It is. You're West Coast, right? So it is a little earlier for you.
It's a little early for me, but
yeah, that's
not too early. But
all right.
No, it's nice to be on. I know I've talked to you guys all the time, like on Twitter, and
yeah,
finally be on the show.
Yeah, you're one of the. We talked to kind of a tight community of. You're one that's always welcome. So anytime you can make it, we would love to have you on because it's always going to be a good time. See some of the regulars in the chat already. What's going on? Good morning, guys. Good afternoon, whatever it is for you. All right, so let's get jumping into it here. Shaun, with guests, probably don't want to slam the table on my microphone to start. That's got us going.
Nice.
All right, episode 117. So we're going to talk about a lot today. We're going to talk about Suicide Squad announcement, which I accidentally announced as Justice League yesterday for some reason. We're going to talk about Obsidian, state of play reactions, the latest PlayStation show. We've got Xcloud coming, but the whole iOS debacle we're going to talk about. We've got Spiderman, IGN reviewing games that aren't out. We're, of course, going to celebrate Master Chief because this is episode 117. And we're going to talk a lot about Fall Guys and the Avengers beta as well. So it should be a great show. But first, Shaun, we're going to start with you. As we always do, first-time guests. We want to talk a little bit about just, brief gaming history, kind of what got you into gaming, how long you've been gaming, some of your kind of journey along the way.
Yeah. So not to date myself, but I've been gaming since
we're seasoned gaming here. You're good.
So you guys are all about that. Yeah, so Atari 2600, been gaming since then, and then moved on to Nintendo. And I've been a Nintendo fan for probably the longest. I think when Xbox came out, I was still rocking the GameCube and stuff. So I've been hardcore Nintendo. So, and then when the 360 came out, that was my first Xbox console. And ever since that, it changed. Xbox has been my platform of choice. Love Xbox.
Okay.
I've been in the gaming industry, so that's always been a plus. I've been in the industry since 2003. I worked at EA for about 6 or 7 years.
I didn't know that. I don't know if we talked about that before or I forgot. I don't know, but that's cool. What did you do for EA? Artist? I mean, graphic work?
Really talk about too much. Production artists. Do a lot of concept, and they do a lot of outsourcing. I worked in the mobile division, so it's more like the iPads and iPhones. Actually, it was before the iPhones. That shows how old I am even more.
Well,
And so they outsource a lot of work, but I'll do a lot of the pre work and stuff like that.
Okay, cool.
Great experience. I love it. Everybody's favorite company, EA.
Well, how did they treat you?
Yeah, they're actually a great place to work. So
there you go.
No, they treat their employees very well. Their business practices are, I know people question, but employees they take care of. Right?
Okay,
I'll say that for sure.
Good.
Well, they should. They got lots of money.
They do.
Right. Yeah, you would hope that those companies, EA, Activision, et cetera, would, right?
Yeah.
Well, cool. So that's funny. So did you ever go back and get into the original Xbox at all?
I didn't. I actually was going to get one. That was right before they announced the 360. And at that time, I think I was going to college, so I had a job, but it wasn't the best job. And
sure.
So I had to make my choices. All right, do I wait or do I go back and get the older Xbox? Yeah. So I never did get the original one.
I think a lot of people, it's fair to say, right? A lot of people kind of got onto the Xbox train during the 360 generation. It was obviously a lot more popular console than the original. So that's cool. That's cool. All right. So if you had to say at this point in time, we're almost 15 years since the Xbox 360 launch. What is your favorite platform of all time, if you had to pick one? And that can include PC, of course, too.
My favorite of all time? That's tough. I would say
that's the point.
I know. It's either the 360 or, believe it or not, the GameCube. There's something about the GameCube, like, just really Nintendo fanboy. Like, I'm a huge, Zelda fan, but I know we'll get to the series later. But probably 360, honestly.
Okay. Yeah, I don't blame you. I think 360 is one of my tops too. 16-bit era always kind of stands tall, but 360 was amazing. And then what's your favorite series? Is Zelda your favorite series of all time?
Zelda is my favorite series of all time. So
okay.
I think as long as Nintendo makes Zelda, I will keep buying their consoles. I would legit buy a Nintendo console just for one game.
Just for a Zelda game?
But, unfortunately, I mean, luckily they have more than Zelda. They have
a little bit.
A lot of, other titles to play. Yeah, right.
That's cool though. So what's funny is I got not into a debate, but I was talking with a couple people this week on Twitter about Breath of the Wild, because as many accolades as it's gotten, it does feel like there's a segment of the Zelda kind of fan base that didn't care for it as much as other Zelda games. Where do you stand on that? Is Breath of the Wild, did you really love it, or did you prefer some of the other ones?
I loved it.
Okay.
I was very worried about it when they first announced the open world, and I thought, it'd be my favorite series.
Sure.
I was kind of worried about the direction. It wasn't going to deter me from playing it.
Yeah.
But then once I got into it, I saw what they're doing with it. I really love it. Like, it's probably one of my favorite of the series as well.
Okay. Cool.
There's some things that I miss. I do miss the dungeons, and
yeah,
miss the dungeons
for sure,
stuff like that. But yeah, I really like the direction they're going.
Gotcha.
What's your favorite Zelda game?
Either Ocarina.
Did you say Wind Walker? It's Wind Waker.
Wind Waker.
Yeah, I was either Ocarina of Time.
Still early here too.
Yeah.
Ocarina. That's a good one.
Ocarina or Wind Waker. Yeah.
Okay.
Either one of those.
You know what? I think I have a shirt that you did in the Wind Waker artwork of Link and a Bobkin.
Oh yeah.
Did you do one? Yeah, I still have it somewhere.
You bought one from
Redbubble? Yes, I did.
It doesn't show me who buys them. I just pops up. Oh, somebody bought this.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I gotta find it now. I'll wear it next week. I should have worn it this week.
Come on, you filthy casual. What's wrong with you?
What a terrible decision I made.
That's awesome, though.
You're the one.
Yeah, I was the one. I love that. I love that shirt.
That's cool.
I wear it all the time. I think I got holes in it now, though. I might buy another one. All the time.
There you go. So what's going on, chat? Good to see a bunch of you guys. Welcome. And Shaun, so here's some of the artwork you've done for us and a few others. So you've got that's Aaron Greenberg in the upper left, right?
Yep.
That's Dan's twins there in the upper middle. That's Dan on the upper right. That's me in the lower left. Me, Dan, and Bert in the lower right. And then you've got the awesome Earthworm Jim thing there. Another series that would be really cool to see come back in some form, but. Yeah, very cool. I think actually, didn't I ask you after you did the one for Aaron Greenberg? I think that's when I said, could you do one in a gear style for me, like Marcus?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really cool.
I've done a bunch for Aaron. Aaron's awesome. Like, sometimes I'll just randomly do one. I'll just be inspired. I'll send it to him, and he appreciates, like, not just me, but like all the people in the Xbox community, their artwork and stuff like that.
Yeah, he definitely gets involved in that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
which is cool.
He's really good about that.
Yeah. Very cool. All right, so let's jump into some of these topics. We got, like I said, we got quite a bit to talk about today. So the biggest one, and, obviously all the comics behind you, Shaun, and I know Dan's big into this stuff, so I'm going to let you guys pretty much lead this conversation because I don't know anything about it. But Rocksteady, finally, we know what they're working on. It's been years. People have been asking what Rocksteady's working on, and there's been everything from Justice League rumors to Superman to Suicide Squad to all these different rumors, and it turns out it is actually Suicide Squad that they're working on. They announced it yesterday formally. It's going to be shown for the first time at this DC event that we have on August 22nd called Fandome. So that's only a couple weeks away, 2 weeks exactly. And, the single image that they did for the reveal was Superman with a target on his head. So it seems like, maybe at least some of these rumors were based in some sort of reality. They probably just get twisted through the grapevine, right? So we know how talented Rocksteady is, and we know, how beloved their series of Batman games are. What are you guys feeling about this one? Did you wish it was something else? Are you excited to see what they do with Suicide Squad? What do you guys think?
So, Sean, are you more of like a DC guy? I mean, based on what's behind you.
Not more Marvel.
I'm more of a Marvel guy. So.
Yeah, no, I'm more Marvel as well.
Oh, geez. You got this guy choking.
I know. Sorry.
Water. No. So, I mean, here's the thing. I don't know. I've seen the Suicide Squad movies. I know what Suicide Squad is. I don't know how this is going to come out. It's supposed to be a gas, right? So we're going to see how that works. But Rocksteady has done they're amazing. So I'm putting a whole lot of faith in the fact that these guys can kind of deliver a really good game in general. As far as what it's about, I think they really kind of fizzled out in the movies, at least the 2 Suicide Squad movies. Well, that one and with the Birds of Prey.
Birds of Prey, yeah.
But at the same time, they're also working on a reboot, right, with James Gunn. So, maybe they're gonna, maybe it'll come out around the same time. Maybe that movie and this will kind of go hand in hand. No idea. Maybe we'll find out more in a couple of weeks. But I've got a lot of faith in Rocksteady. I'm interested to see how they do it. But I just question the IP. I would have rather have seen them work on a Batman game, just because it's been such a proven commodity for them.
Yeah,
and it's one of my favorite games of all time. So.
Well, it feels like we're still going to get a Batman game. It'll just might be that what is it, WB Montreal instead of Rocksteady, right?
Now, what did they do? Did they do the Shadow of Mordor games? And
no, WB Montreal. Well, yeah, they worked on some of those games, but they did a Batman game. They did the one.
The Origins.
Thank you. Yeah, you guys know it better than I do, but yes, they did Origins.
Yeah,
which I think, from what you guys told me, is one of the better ones, right?
Yeah.
I heard that. That's like the only one I haven't played.
That's the only one I haven't played.
Yeah, because
Birds played it.
Wasn't exclusive to like a certain system or something like that?
Wasn't it originally like a? I'm not going to speculate. I honestly don't know.
You should.
Like the Wii U or something?
Yeah.
No, it definitely wasn't the Wii U. That I can tell you for sure.
It was like Ouya? I can't remember.
Ouya, yeah, it was Ouya. So where are you at on the Suicide Squad announcement, Sean?
I'm excited. I don't like Dan. I don't know too much about them other than the movies and a few animated series and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with the characters, but as far as how it's going to work in the game,
yeah.
I have no idea. I'm guessing you're playing as, because they're bad guys. They're like anti-heroes or something like that. So, I kind of like that spin on it. That should be pretty interesting. Rocksteady, the Batman series are probably some of my favorite, third-party games as well. So
yeah,
I have faith in them as well. I'm sure they'll do something amazing.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where I am. I don't know, like I said, much about the comics or much about the series, but really, if the development talent's there and the game's well designed and fun to play, then definitely check it out. I think we heard, is this PS5 and Xbox Series X only, right? They're targeting only next gen, is that right?
I can't see them unless they come out with it really, really shortly. It's I would think that they're just going to focus on that at this point.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
Well, user base.
Well, no. But if you're, why come out now is my question, and throw a poster up on Twitter all of a sudden, for something that's going to happen in 2 weeks. It's supposed to be really far out still. If it's anything over like 2 years, at that point, what do you do? Sorry guys on PS4 and Xbox.
The thing I wonder is like the games as a service, like how would that work? Is it going to be like a online?
See, that's another thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huge. It could be like I don't want to say it, but I want to get it out of the way. Anthem, where
the Avengers.
Yeah, or the Avengers, right? That's basically what I'm thinking. It's got to be something in that vein, right? I don't know. I have no idea. But like I said, hopefully Rocksteady does something good, and hopefully there's a single player element to it, because that's what I'm going to look forward to the most.
Yeah, they're great storytellers. So I'm like,
oh yeah, for sure.
I want, the story to be solid.
Yeah. Well, to your point, Sean, they're kind of the anti-heroes, and the first picture they show is Superman with a target on his head. So could be very interesting from an aspect of like that if you're trying to kill Superman, which is, as from a comic perspective, right, is damn near impossible.
But wasn't there something off about Superman as well? Like, I mean, I gotta look at it again, but he looked like he wasn't normal.
Oh, okay.
Morrow or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know enough about the lore here. This is why we were going to talk Halo lore, because then I'd be in a better place.
So we're getting this out of the way first. So I here in about 15 minutes.
All right, so let's another developer that we love, right? Obsidian. So Obsidian's crushing it lately. Grounded is, I think it's fair to say, surpassed all expectations of what that title was going to be. Outer Worlds crushed it. We know they've got their expansion to Outer Worlds. Actually, like a month from tomorrow is when that releases, I think. And then we've got Avowed, which I think for many people, myself included, has really jumped up to the top of the most anticipated titles coming over the next few years, right, in next gen. So, but the one of the studio design directors, and I forgot to put his name here, but studio design director came out and confirmed that he is leading his own project, which is not Avowed. So this is pretty crazy news when you think about Obsidian being a big studio, a big part of Xbox Game Studios' future. And we know they're staffing up, but the fact Grounded is probably their smallest title. Outer Worlds is already finished. Avowed is their biggest title, right? Their AAA kind of big blockbuster. What do you think, or what would you like to see out of this fourth project? I mean, the obvious speculation is Outer Worlds 2, right? Or they're going to build, and seeing their capability with that universe now, right, is to make a bigger budget sequel. But is that what you guys want to see, or would you rather them work on something brand new?
Go ahead, Sean.
On the spot.
On the spot.
Maybe. I think I would like something new, honestly. Okay. I mean, I think Outer Worlds, I really liked it. I enjoyed it. I know they're probably gonna have a lot planned for the series as far as like single player DLC.
Yeah. They said the other expansion's coming next year, so it's still got some legs on it.
Yeah, and if it's coming next year, then it seems like they're gonna. It seems like it has some legs on it that they're gonna try to expand it as much as possible. So I would imagine they would be making something completely new.
Okay.
As far as what, I don't know. And if they do come out the sequel, like, would it be exclusive to Xbox, or like, I don't know how that would work because the first one being multi-platform.
Yeah, I think basically Xbox's stance on that with like Psychonauts 2, right? Because there was a FIG publishing deal there. Outer Worlds was private division published. All those titles that were published by third parties were kept on all the platforms they were originally announced for, but everything going forward that's published by Xbox Game Studios will just be Xbox and PC. Okay. So if they do an Outer Worlds 2, I would presume, unless they change their mind, that it would just be Xbox and PC.
I can imagine them doing something as big as Avowed, because that game, like from what I hear, is going to be massive.
Yeah, that's their big team. Over 100 people working on it.
Yeah, 2 of those would be too much. But,
yeah, agreed.
Yeah, I mean, whatever it is, I don't know. I mean, if it is Outer Worlds 2, I'm good with that. Wouldn't surprise me if some kind of gas, I mean, you never know. I mean, but they have to kind of do this, right? Because this is their selling point as far as Xbox Studios go. You need a lot of games for Game Pass, right? So, I mean, I think you're going to see this in a lot of their studios. You're going to see where they hire more in, where you have maybe some passion projects, and you have some, you've got your one big project, then maybe you do have 3 other teams working on this, and this, So, this is their play, and to make it worth your while, you obviously want to see more content, for your subscription. So, yeah, I'm whatever it is they're working on, I think it's the right move. From a business standpoint, I don't know what I'd like to see. I'd like to see like Fallout New Vegas 2, but from Obsidian. That's not going to happen. So,
Elu said Knights of the Old Republic 3.
Yeah, or that too. That would be awesome.
That would be a massive undertaking too. And EA owns the Star Wars IP, so. Yeah,
I mean, there's tons of stuff I would love to see, but whether or not we get it is a whole other question. So.
Yeah.
But I will say that I've never been really super disappointed in an Obsidian game up until this point.
Yeah. I used to just kind of off topic, but
go for it.
I used to work in the same building as Obsidian, like
around
the time they were making New Vegas. So this is after EA, and I went to a smaller company, but it's in Irvine, and we worked in the same building. And I remember like me and some coworkers are like they're right below us, like we're like putting our ears to the ground, like. But yeah,
a lot of people consider New Vegas to be the best Fallout game.
It is.
Everybody I talk to, agree. I believe.
Yeah, which is saying something, right? Because Bethesda's made 3 big ones now, but yeah. Visual says cancel Dan. We got to bring that back.
Yeah.
God, we haven't gotten that trending yet. # cancel Dan.
Let's not get that trending because then I'm gonna get Me Too'd, and then everything's gonna go to hell.
Oh, whoa!
I don't need this. I don't know why. Like for no reason.
Yeah, they all say it's for no reason, Dan.
That's what it is.
You know what that is?
Well, then was cancel Dan. I didn't even do anything. This is what I'm talking about. Crazy! I wake up in the morning and all of a sudden something's
You're canceled. That's it.
It's gonna be me.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about State of Play. State of Play, we knew is 40 minutes, mostly PlayStation 4, a lot of indies, a couple VR things. I think Sony set the expectations ahead of time as they needed to. No big PS5 news, no big announcements, no pricing dates, nothing like that. This was more of a focus on current environment, current customers. I saw a few things that interested me, and I don't mind shows like this. I don't know where you guys stand, but I don't mind shows like this. But I saw a lot of people just, as usual, right, flipping out saying the show was a complete waste of time. So I don't know where you guys stand. I didn't mind it. There's a couple things that interested me. We got more bug snacks. I mean, come on.
I mean, how can anybody be upset if there's more bug snacks? I mean, that's really, you could have showed nothing and then just that. And it'd been
stole the show for me, yeah.
Come on.
It feels like they're playing into it, right?
Oh, yeah. They're aware.
Yeah.
They know it, but it's awesome.
So I know Dan.
Filter.
The what?
They have a Snapchat filter. So like I don't even know what Snapchat is really, but that's what they said. And you get on there and you put your Snapchat on and like a little thing pops up and it shows whatever bug snacks that you are.
Oh, is that what that was? I saw someone doing that on Twitter and I was like, I don't know what she's doing.
I don't know what Snapchat
is. these young whippersnappers. Damn kids.
Their apps, TikTok.
Their TikTokings and Snapchat.
Yeah, the TikTokings.
I know.
Wow, we sound really old right now. So State of Play, what did you guys, Dan, I'll start with you. What did you think? I know Vader Immortal got you pumped up, but what else did you think? What did you think about the whole show? Anything that really jumped out to you?
I mean, I always tell myself not to temper my expectations, and I didn't for this either, but I knew what it was at the same time. I knew it wasn't a PS5 reveal. I didn't understand that going in. I mean, I get, you still got this 115 million strong user base, so you've got to appease them at the same time. But people are really, really hungry for next gen news, for sure. They want to see some new games. So in that vein, I don't think they obviously that's what they were trying to do, but and they snuck in a couple things here and there, with what was that one falling game or whatever the hell it is, where you shoot stuff with arrows and you've got an eagle, and I can't remember what it was called.
I don't know off the top of my head. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what it was. But anyway, Vader Immortal, I've been, ever since they announced it, I've been kind of looking forward to it in VR. I'm a huge Star Wars nut. Yeah. So this one is going to be awesome. I know it's on VR it's either on Oculus or Vive. I think it's Oculus.
It's one of them,
Yeah, but it's like, it's been, I don't have that kind of headset right now. So I'm pumped for that. Hitman in VR kind of surprised me because you get to play every single game in VR, which is weird, but might be awesome. So
it's kind of crazy to think about it. Like, how's that going to function? I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, do you just go into all your games and just make it first person and then make it? I don't know. I'm not a designer. I'm not a tech guy, so I have no clue, but it looks awesome. I'll try it out for sure.
What about what else did we get? We got Crash 4. I know you're not the big I knew that was going to be expression. How about the second expansion to Control being Alan Wake related?
Well, we knew that was coming. It was called it was AEW or something like that.
AWE.
AWE. Oh, yeah, that's right. I can't. Man. Hold on. Let me get some more energy drink.
Alan Wake, you know?
It was Alan Wake, yeah.
So the interesting thing, that's actually releasing. So I checked this out. I thought Control, am I wrong? Didn't PlayStation have like a timed exclusive on the DLCs for that game?
On the first one.
Just on the first one, yeah, because this one says it's coming to all platforms on August 27th, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's got it on all too.
Yeah, you're a big Alan Wake fan, aren't you?
Me?
Sean.
No, Sean might be.
Or am I thinking of Diego?
Diego,
I know
sure
Diego is.
Diego is.
Yeah.
Speaking of Diego, but yeah, like I think Hitman in VR would be awesome. Like, so are you guys familiar? I mean, do you guys play VR at all right now? Or
a little bit. So we both have PSVR. I think Dan plays it more than I do.
Yeah, I just finished the Iron Man one, and then I've been playing Pistol Whip, which is awesome.
So I have an Oculus here.
There you go.
But yeah, like it's a whole different experience. I mean, obviously it's a different experience, but like playing games in VR is a lot more intimate. I don't know. So playing Hitman in VR must be pretty insane. Like, you know, coming up behind somebody.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of curious about. Like, how would that even function?
I don't know.
Are you standing there in your room, like,
I know, just like,
you know, trying to choke people out?
It's very intimidating too, because speaking of Vader Immortal, like I have that on the Oculus as well, and you don't realize how scary Darth Vader is until like he's standing in front of you, because he's really big. Like he towers over you, and you know it's a game, and he walks towards you, and I'm like, I find myself like stepping back, and you know, and so it's very cool. Like
I'm super pumped.
Like I'm a huge VR nut, so I love VR. Like
well, good, because I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a little bit off topic. Sorry, Ames. Okay, so my son has a Vive right now, and they sell these things called pucks that you attach to your knees, maybe, or they strap onto your knees and your belt. They're just little motion sensors, basically. They're just an additional motion sensor. Okay, they're $100 a piece, and he wants 3 of them. You know, his money and stuff, but. You know, have you ever used anything like that? Because I would think they would be used. I checked it out. There's not a whole lot of games that use that, but you know, I would think it'd be used more for like, you know, kind of more of a developer side than anything else.
I've never heard of that, honestly. I have the Oculus, so I just have like the 2 sensors and But I would assume that would track your body movement, but usually the headset does a pretty good job of guessing where your body is, you know, with your controls in your hands as well. So $100 each, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, it's like you want to, you know, whether you want to do a karate game or something where you're like, you know, you have to put it on your foot.
Just get him Ring Fit Adventure. He's good.
Yeah.
Hey man, I almost bought that today or yesterday.
I'm surprised you found one. I can't even find one.
They pop up on Amazon every once in a while. So
they were on sale for the first time earlier this week.
$70. It's close.
Everybody's quarantining, so we gotta get fit.
Yeah, I do for sure. That was my excuse. I was like, man, I gotta start losing some weight because I found like an extra arm fold this week. I was like, well, that's not great. That wasn't there before. And then I was like, I better go get the Ring Fit Adventure because at least I can play video games and lose a little bit of weight or be active.
We pulled out the Wii Fit like 2 days ago. My son, he's like, Dad, I'm gonna get some exercise in. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I gotta get them in there too because they're getting chunky as hell too. My twins. It's like, wait a minute, you can't just sit in your room and eat, Doritos all day. We gotta do something. So I might get it. Now I'm gonna go look for it.
That's how my son was. My son's at that age now, 15, and he's gone the opposite direction, right? He like eats cheese all day, but he's like inverted. He's so skinny. Yeah, you can like see through him basically. It's ridiculous. All right, we got some other things on State of Play too. So we got Hitman, Vader, a game called Hood, Outlaws and Legends from Focus Home Interactive. Looked pretty damn cool, I thought. And then we got what was the other thing they showed? Oh damn it, I had it right here. Bug Snacks we talked about. Yeah, Crash 4. There was something else too. Damn, I thought I had it in front of me. But Hood, Outlaws and Legends. I thought it looked really cool, and it's like a combination PvE and PvP experience, and that's coming to all platforms as well. that was just kind of the debut of it. So any game that's in like the 19th century, I'm all about. I don't know why I love that era so much, but it looks pretty cool. All right. State of Play was okay. I mean, it is.
That's basically what it came down to.
Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah, it was what it was.
I'd rather have that than nothing. You know what I mean?
That's true.
So, all right. So let's get into the whole Xcloud debate. This could be interesting. So Xcloud is coming September 15th, so a little over a month officially. I know that Shaun, you've played on Xcloud?
I have.
Okay,
iOS.
yeah. So three of us have used it. You know, we got to use it at E3 as well, but used it at home as well. I know Dan's probably used it more than I have and has enjoyed it. So Xbox came out this week. They've partnered with Samsung officially. And this, as we've talked about in the past, has kind of like big implications because Samsung is the biggest smartphone manufacturer in the world. They're also starting to partner on TVs like we talked about and offering Xbox Game Pass. So, you know, they're laying that foundation for the future of kind of expanding xCloud and Game Pass to more people. But then, of course, we found out the big controversy is that they removed the beta app from iOS and basically said that xCloud won't be launching on iOS due to Apple's policies. So this caused a whole big debate. Since then,
oh boy.
so to touch on that, Apple came back and said that for relating to games, Xbox would have to register each game on Game Pass individually. And that one company came out and said just to get their game to go live on iOS, they had to register it 127 times before it finally got approved. On top of that, Apple also has a thing that states that you can have no in-game purchases, no expansions, no download content, no anything else because it has to run through the App Store as well. So long and the short of it is the App Store policies are extremely prohibitive on the gaming front. And, you know, if you read the writing on the wall, a lot of people believe that's because you have Apple Arcade and they just don't want any competition. Because then, you know, you looked at other people started saying, well, why do you have Netflix? Why do you have Hulu? Why do you have all these other things where there's hundreds and hundreds of things available in a single app? And there's other things where you can clearly buy other stuff in apps. But, you know, Apple did not comment on that. Since then, Facebook actually came out yesterday. They launched the Facebook gaming app on iOS with 0 games. And Facebook came out and said the exact same thing. They said Apple's policies are ridiculous, and you know they're arguing about it now. Tim Sweeney from Epic came out and said they're in the Stone Ages with these policies, and it will prevent not only things like Stadia, Nvidia, GeForce, xCloud, but also any games like shared games where people work together, technically like Minecraft, Fortnite, Roblox, all these major titles, because just the way it's written from a legal perspective. So Xbox finally responded because they had just gone quiet about it, really. They finally came out and they gave this message yesterday. So they said, the testing period has expired. Unfortunately, we do not have a path forward to bring our vision of cloud gaming with Xbox Game Pass Ultimate to iOS. Apple stands alone as the only general purpose platform to deny consumers from cloud gaming and game subscription services like Game Pass. It consistently treats gaming apps differently, applying more lenient rules to non-gaming apps, like other people talked about, even when they include interactive content. All games in Xbox Game Pass are rated for content by independent industry ratings bodies, ESRB, regional equivalents, blah, blah, blah. We're committed to finding a path forward to bringing it to iOS, and we believe the customer should be at the center. So kind of an obvious statement. They just kind of doubled down on what all the other companies and people were saying about Apple as well. So for me, I'm a iOS user just because that's what my work uses. You know, I use the phone that my work gives me, and so this was kind of crappy news, of course, for me. But I generally dislike Apple anyway, so it didn't surprise me even in the slightest. But what are you guys' thoughts on this? Do you feel like, do you have a different? Let me ask it this way, because it's clear that Microsoft, Facebook, Epic, all these companies are speaking out against Apple. Do you agree with the companies speaking out against Apple, or do you have a different viewpoint that, you know, kind of stands by, I won't say stands behind Apple, but you know what I mean? A different viewpoint that differs from what we just talked about.
No, I applaud the companies that are speaking out against Apple because I also use an iPhone, and
Mhm.
their terms are ridiculous. And I can speak from experience because I've worked at a smaller mobile gaming company,
Okay.
and to get games on their store, it's a nightmare. Like we would develop games on Android and Apple.
Yep.
We would have the Android game up the next day. Like we'll just the next day it's up. Um, maybe they're too lenient because I know Apple wants to filter out some of the
Sure.
the crap, whatever.
It's kind of like
But
Steam, right? There's like 1,000 games an hour released on it or something. It's just open,
yeah.
like, yeah.
So maybe something in between would be nice. But anyways, Android is very easy to work with. Like they'll have it up, and Apple, it would always get bounced back for just really. I remember talking to the devs. I can't remember some of the reasons off the top of my head, but they're
Because
just
Android
very
uses open APIs, right? It's like publicly consumed APIs that Google provides, right? Is that right?
yeah. But yeah, Apple's. I think all this pushback. I think they're gonna look into changing their terms. They have to at this point because I don't know. They're gonna drive a lot of people away. I've always been an Android user until like you. When I started developing games on mobile, I switched to Apple because I had to test the games I was making.
Oh,
And
okay.
ever since then, I've been stuck with Apple. I like their phones, but like them as a company, they do a lot of things that I don't agree with.
Okay. Mariano in the chat says, been on an iPhone for roughly a decade, but this is making me switch. And not alone, right? I don't know. The markets for these are so huge that even if 100,000 people came out and said they're switching, it would make pocket change dent, right, in Apple. But at some point, bad policies that are prohibitive to consumers will catch up with you. I think this has gotten a lot of press, and I think it's probably. Can you imagine? And Dan, sorry, I know.
Go ahead.
One other comment is: can you imagine, say next year, right? Put another year behind us. Xcloud has been out for 6-12 months. We're in fall of next year, and people kind of all over, even outside the U.S. and whatnot, are using Xcloud more regularly. And maybe Stadia's grown. Maybe they have games from 2010 at that point. But my point is that cloud gaming expands, right? And you see people, you're next to people on public transport or on airplanes or whatever, using these things, and you go to do the same thing on your iPhone, and it's just like, nope, not available. I think that starts to have a bigger and bigger impact as time goes on.
Yeah, man, it's garbage. It's basically. I mean, I saw this coming. Not to toot my own horn, like 5 years ago. Not this specifically, but the reason I've never owned an Apple phone is because their ecosystem has always been so closed off, and it hasn't really changed for years and years and years. People are just starting to see it now, and
it's when it impacts them.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody. Yeah. And I've seen iPhones. I've messed around with them. They're great hardware. They're great pieces of hardware. And Android, they have, also good hardware if you're willing to spend the money for it. But they also have a lot of bloatware, with your cable or your carriers, and there's in Samsung's in particular, it's a disaster sometimes. I got the Note 9, and it's full of crap that I don't need, and I don't want to root my phone, so I can get rid of it also. But I can. If I wanted to, I can, but it's so simple. I think it comes from both sides. Like Google's, like just a standard Android phone right now. You can't with xCloud. You won't be able to make those purchases. You're going to have to go through Samsung's storefront. It's going to be two separate apps, from what I understand. You're going to have the Google Play app, which they may have the same kind of restrictions as Apple does with the microtransactions and the DLC and stuff, but through Samsung's phones, you'll be able to actually, through their storefront. I mean, anyway, you'll be able to purchase all that stuff. That's why they're working with them, and they're the biggest company in the world as far as phones go. So you'll actually be able to, the reach will be much farther. Apple's really just kind of big in here in the U.S. Worldwide, you're looking at it, even here, it's what, 50%, I think we saw.
Yeah, 40, it's 40 something for Apple. It's 50, nearly 52% Android in U.S.
Yeah, it's you're trying to reach different, places. You're trying to reach, Europe. You're trying to reach, Asian markets and stuff. So it just works differently, I think. I'm going to stick with what I have because my phone's awesome. So and it works. And it sucks for people that use Apple though, and or maybe just buy an Android tablet if that's what you want to do. But even then, it's not the same as shoving it in your pocket or something like that.
No,
we have an Android tablet as well, but I had bought the little clip that goes onto the controller.
Yeah,
I was ready to go, and it was like I was testing it on my iOS. And it's not big enough for the tablet, but
yeah, it's a shame.
I wouldn't switch because of this. Like honestly,
No.
If I switch, it'll just be out of principle alone, like just because I'm tired of their policies.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't switch for Xcloud. But I am pretty upset about it.
yeah, it is frustrating. Me too.
Sure.
Yeah, me too. And I, being at home right now, I'm obviously just going to play on my consoles, right? But when things go back to normal eventually, whenever that is, do travel quite a bit for work, So I was saying that I hope it comes to PC soon. We've talked about a PC beta coming soon, and Dan had a good question. I've seen other people ask, is like, if you're playing on PC, why wouldn't you just play your Game Pass games on PC, right? Game Pass Ultimate. But the difference is that if you have a really good PC, yes, play on the local hardware, right? But for like my laptop that I take with me, it's got an amazing screen. It's like a 4K 17-inch screen, but the hardware is not that great, like the GPU, right? So the great thing about Xcloud is you're offloading all that processing to Xcloud, so you can still play at a higher fidelity without needing the computer to run it. So
Through
that's what I'll.
Wi-Fi. Yeah.
Through the hotel Wi-Fi, yeah. So I probably won't be playing at all.
No. The computer will start asking you questions like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, you actually get a stronger download signal if I tether to my carrier signal on my phone than getting the premium Wi-Fi at the hotel.
Yep. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. Anyway, that's a whole nother conversation. But yeah, I think I think what's interesting here is you're talking about the biggest companies in the world that are having this battle, right? Microsoft is the most profitable company in the world. Apple's is it number 2 or number 3? Facebook is way up there. Amazon's gonna get involved in this. Just give it time. And Samsung, and it's just one way or another, this stuff will get worked out in the end, but only once everyone's going to get their cut of the billions. That's all it is. It's always about money and control.
Money.
Yeah. So, but it is frustrating as an Apple user because, to your point, Shaun, you use Apple by choice right now. I don't really have a choice. My work gives iPhones. I'm using an iPhone, right? I'm not going to carry 2 phones. Some people do that. No, I'm not going to bother with that. So,
Great.
Anyway, we'll see what happens. But I do think that if companies like Microsoft, Facebook, people like Epic, or big industry leaders speak out about this more, we are going to see a lot of pressure on Apple to make some changes, in the future. Because Apple Arcade's not a competitor. Come on, let's be serious.
It's a different thing.
Yeah, well, that's what was funny, because Apple came out with a statement and said something to the effect of, we offer a competitive alternative in every area here. And it's like, Apple, if you're looking at Apple Arcade as a competitor to Game Pass, you need someone else making these statements, because they don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, because Apple Arcade, I mean, that's a service. You have to pay for that, like the Xbox Cloud. I mean, you're streaming. You're not downloading anything other than the initial app.
Correct.
It's different. I think they just have like really old like rules or terms that just haven't been up to date. So they're going off their old terms, like it just doesn't apply to what's going on nowadays.
Yeah, it's got, as Dan said, they've always been a really closed, restrictive ecosystem. That's what I've always hated about Apple. I won't use their stuff. Open source is really kind of the future, or it's the now, really, not the future anymore. So, anyway,
Trash.
All right.
Trash. We'll get that in there.
It is not #meaty.
Nope.
No. All right, Spiderman. Let's talk about more. Let's talk about more controversy, because I want to hear you guys on this. So, Spiderman.
We're leading up to a very good grinding our gears here.
I know, we haven't even gotten there yet. Give it time.
This is insane.
So, Spiderman. So you want to play as Spiderman in the Avengers, huh? Well, he's coming. He's coming next year, and So not only is he only coming to PlayStation, so forget about Stadia, PC, and Xbox, Sony said, but their statement of it. Did you see their statement in response to it? Where they said, well, if you don't want to play it on PS5, you can still go play it on PS4.
Yeah.
On PS4?
That's what they said. So people asked why Spider-Man's not coming to Xbox, PC, Stadia, and their official response was, if you're not going to buy a PS5 and don't want to play it on PS5, you'll still be able to play it on PS4.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, it's accurate.
So this is another one, right? This is another one where it's like, yes, Sony owns the IP rights to Spider-Man. They are obviously within their rights and power to do this. Do you guys give a crap about this? Does it matter to you? Because obviously it matters to some people.
They don't own the IP rights, though. They only own the movie rights.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought they owned Spider-Man rights.
No, Sony.
The digital content.
Sony only owns the movie rights. They don't own not even TV rights. So like TV shows, like you can go on Disney Plus and watch Spider-Man cartoons. They don't own TV. They don't own the video games. They don't own toys, merchandise. Just the movies. So whatever's going on with Sony.
So they signed this separately then.
That's a whole nother deal, but it's not like a rights thing. It's just a deal that they signed.
I didn't know that. So good call, Shaun. So that's even shadier then.
Yeah. Because Insomniac, I mean, they made the Spider-Man game, but they didn't make it because a lot of people think they made it because Sony owns the rights, but no, they made it because Sony came to them and said, no, Marvel came to them and said, we want you to make a Marvel game. Out of all the IP, what would you rather choose? And they all chose Spider-Man. So that's why they have Spider-Man. It's not because they own it or anything.
Yeah,
yeah. This
and then
was a deal with Marvel too, if I'm not mistaken, right? Between Square Enix and Marvel. I don't think it was, and then, or in Sony anyway, and Marvel. So I mean, they've got that relationship built up now.
They do have a relationship, so now they're just they have that working relationship. So the door's open. So
it's gonna
as long
keep
as
happening.
Sony keeps writing a check, then.
Yep.
That seems to be it then. Yeah, I guess people are looking at PlayStation as the place to play Spider-Man related titles. So why not lock it down for the Avengers? Because Spider-Man is one of the biggest, or is it Batman or Spider-Man that's the biggest comic-based IP? It's one of them.
It's one of my Spider-Man has always been my favorite. I have like a photo back here of me when I was like 3 years old on my Spider-Man blanket. Like Spider-Man's been my favorite character ever. So this one speaks to me. And I kind of got over the fact, that Spider-Man was only going to be on PlayStation. I would still rather play it on the Xbox. But then they came out later and they said about all this, there's a whole another list of exclusive things going to PlayStation.
Yeah.
But that's what got me. So at that point,
I can pull that up while you guys are talking.
Yeah, I mean, the way I had it pre-ordered on the PlayStation. Just sticking with whoever's got the marketing rights. That's where I'm going with.
Which seems to be the right choice so far.
Right choice. I can care less on where I play it, as long as they both run okay.
It'll run great, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm a huge Spider-Man guy, but Steve, who writes for SG, had a tweet yesterday, and it was like, this Avengers game isn't worth fighting for, or fighting over Spider-Man for, and he is 100% right. And we'll talk about the beta here in a little bit. Yeah. But if you play it, and you're going to be like, well, I really don't care at this point about Spider-Man because of how it's going to be implemented, I think. So I think it's going to matter less. I think the stuff that, all the bonuses and stuff are probably a little bit nicer, like what Shaun was talking about.
Yeah, I've got it right here, Dan. So let me call it out real quick. So PlayStation players will have 30-day exclusive access to a legendary outfit, legendary emote, epic takedown, and nameplates for each superhero as they are released. This is also for the 6 launch heroes. In addition, PlayStation Plus subscribers will, for every superhero added to game post-launch, Hawkeye included, all PS Plus members will receive a free bundle that contains a rare outfit, a nameplate, and 100 credits, which I guess is in-game currency, right?
That's not very much.
Okay, and we'll have a free bundle for Miss Marvel when the game launches.
Yeah, it's all cosmetic stuff. I mean, there's no pay to win mechanics or anything like that I've seen so far. So, I get it because he's such a big character and he's such a everybody loves Spider-Man, right? I mean, he's Well, except for you. Yeah. But
I'm kidding. I grew up loving Spider-Man as well.
Right.
I did.
Yeah. He's that, the super relatable superhero guy. You know, he's just that's why everybody likes him. And I get why people are upset, but at the same time, I don't think it's going to really play into it as much as people think, because of the way they've got the missions and stuff set up.
Yeah.
It's not going to like ruin a storyline or something. He'll have his own. I think that's what they're supposed to have, like his own story, whatever.
Mhm.
But I get why people are upset. I don't care because I got the PS Plus version or whatever it is, so it's fine. I'm not. You see a lot of like anti-consumer stuff on. I hate that word almost as much as I hate toxic. I don't want to hear about it anymore. Pro-consumer, anti-consumer. I don't care about literally anybody else except for me. All right, I'm the only consumer I care about. I don't care about everybody else. Sorry, everybody in chat. But
See?
that really
This is why Apple's getting away with it, because of Steve Jobs.
Yeah. I should change that actually, but nevertheless, it's you. If you have a PlayStation, I understand. If you have a PlayStation and an Xbox, you can make that decision. If you're basing it on that Spider-Man character, I'm telling you, you're making a huge mistake. Huge mistake.
Well, especially they said it's not even coming till next year.
Yeah, it's not coming till next year.
So
play where your friends are. That's the most important thing. That's where you're going to get, because this game is really pushing the co-op aspect of it.
Okay.
But I do feel a little bit bad for those players that really wanted him. But at the same time, sorry.
Go sign the petition on change.org. I'm sure it'll accomplish something.
No.
Sure.
No. Nope.
Yeah, it's coming next year. Like I might be done with the game by then.
Yeah, most people will. That's just the fact of the matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like my backlog is already big enough as it is, and
Well, and by then we'll be into Series X and PS5, kind of, a bigger library, right? Hopefully.
Yeah.
And but
I used to go where the what did you say, Dan, about the
where the marketing is?
Yeah, the marketing is.
Yeah.
When the Arkham series, when they came out, I bought it on the PlayStation. I bought it on PS3. So I have the Arkham series, all of them, but they're all on PlayStation. And because that's where the first one was, and then so when the second one came out, I was like, dang it! Like I really prefer the Xbox controllers.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I really wanted to get the second one on the Xbox or 360, whatever. But I didn't, because the first one was on PlayStation. I didn't want to be split in between platforms because it's just weird. And then when Arkham Knight came out, I had both the Xbox One and the PS4, but I bought it for the PS4 just because the other two I had on PS3, just because, I don't know. But then even then, I was like, dang, I wish I would have just stuck with the Xbox. I wish I would have just stuck with my platform of choice, because the controller, everything, I just like it way more. So I think that was the last time I did that.
I was going to say, to your point, right, the additions you see out of a lot of these deals really don't amount to a whole lot. They sound like more on paper than they really do change the gameplay experience for the most part. I think the filthiest one was probably the Destiny thing, where like literal top grade weapons you couldn't get on Xbox for a year. Mm-hmm. They were only on PlayStation. That's pretty dirty. But skins and stuff like that, that's not going to change your gameplay experience. Yeah. A controller that you like to use changes your gameplay experience way more than the skin does.
Right.
Yep.
So, Bomber had a good comment though, and it worked, right? Because I'm sitting here thinking Sony had the rights to it as well. Until you made the point, Shaun, reminded me about it being movies only. Is that really people are, Sony's just cashing in because Spider-Man's their biggest exclusive. It sold more than any of their first party stuff. And they're cashing in on, people looking at PlayStation, and especially with PS5 launching with Miles Morales as the Spider-Man console, right? It's a smart move. It's a smart business move. It's anti-consumer, but it's
PlayStation, son.
Very toxic of them.
Yeah, very toxic behavior. Tell you what. Speaking of toxic behavior, IGN. There, I'm done. I wasn't going to continue anymore. So IGN has reviewed Grounded. And this is like the controversial episode. We're just commenting on everything. So IGN
coming on. I like to.
You got to get into it. So IGN has reviewed Grounded, And it has, again, caused a stir like everything else, because the question is raised is, should they be formally reviewing early access titles when it's very clearly stated that what you're buying here is a game and game preview and early access, right? Which is weird because, I know Ryan McCaffrey was commenting on this, and some of them were like, you haven't done this for other early access titles or other game preview titles. Why for Grounded? And it's like, well, we don't have the capability to review everything. And it's like, that's kind of a cop-out. You should have a policy here. So I don't know where you guys stand on this. I think it's kind of shady. I think there's definitely some weight in the whole Grounded is a big hit right now, way bigger than most people thought it was going to be. And it's getting a lot of social media attention and the old SEO attention, right? Got to get those hits. And I think it gets a lot of hits for IGN to come out and say we reviewed Grounded, and look, it worked. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone's clicking on it. It worked. So personally, my opinion here is I think it's fine to give a preview and impressions of a game preview title, write up a detailed write-up on it, talk about what's missing in the game, talk about where it's lacking. But a game and game preview shouldn't be getting a score. There's no point in getting a score on a game and game preview. Especially, I think one of the statements in the review from what someone said is saying the game feels incomplete. Yeah. It's like, are you guys? I mean, come on, that's just stupid. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, what do you think, Shaun?
I agree. I think like bullet points, just a few like comments about performance or what it could use or whatever. Yeah, it definitely shouldn't get a score. I made a comment yesterday on Twitter about I was saying if I gave somebody a bag of flour and eggs and have them rate my cake, it's like, well, the cake's not even
that's nice.
It's pretty accurate though.
Yeah, it's not done. There, even in the game it says the story's not complete yet.
Says it when you did turn the damn thing on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I like the game. I actually like it way more than I thought I would.
Me too.
Like survival games, that's not my thing. I played Ark Survival for an hour. I know it's way too much managing. I can't, manage me freezing to death and all that stuff. But Grounded, I really really liked. It's actually a really pretty game. I know it's a meme. People make fun of it, but it's a really pretty game.
Everything's a freaking meme nowadays. It's a pretty game. It is.
Yeah, the lighting and everything is just very, and it's very complicated. Everything moves. You see the grass, blades moving, and so something big's coming. And there's a lot going on in that game, and it works. And for it to be in game preview and for it to be as polished as it is, I think that's a plus. But
especially developed by such a small team, right? It's really, I think that's why it's getting the response it's getting, is that people didn't expect much out of this game, and it's really defied expectations. It's a lot more polished, a lot kind of better experience than people expected it to be.
Maybe because it's so polished, they just felt the need to rate it. But yeah, I don't. It should be like a rating in progress. It should just be bullet points about
Yeah, I mean. So, it's obvious, right? I run Season Gaming. I could have easily, because I finished the story portion of Grounded in co-op last week when it came out. Had a good time with it, played it for a few hours, really enjoyed myself. I could have easily written up a review, slapped a score on it, put it on OpenCritic, and then published it out. And we probably would have gotten tens and thousands and tens of thousands of hits. Yeah. You know what I mean? It would have been simple to do. It would have taken me 45 minutes to do that. But it's just... I'm not going to do that because that's not what we do.
Is there any other game that you can think of that's gotten a score, a letter or a number score review that's preview?
I was trying to think through that. I'm sure there are, but I couldn't think of one off the top of my head.
They're not doing it for Avengers, and that's in beta right now.
It's a beta that you have to pre-order to get into. You've got Rogue Company out there. Someone in the chat said Rogue Company. You've got there's tons of early access and game preview titles. I mean, it's a big part of the market nowadays, right? I mean, it's just the way it is. And I think the fact someone mentioned Sea of Thieves, and they reviewed Sea of Thieves early on, but Sea of Thieves was a retail release. They never said Sea of Thieves was early access, right? So I think that's fine. If it's a full retail release, it's full price, then you review it. But game. Say it again.
Grounded. Isn't it $40 on Steam?
It's 30, but
30?
it's early access. It's not a full retail release. Yeah, and it's very clearly stated on Xbox. They call it game preview. Steam they call it early access. It's the same thing. It's just different name.
I think Ark was early access for a long time on Xbox, but I don't remember them giving it a grade when it was.
Oh yeah, and Fortnite is still in beta, but Fortnite was out for a long time before they started doing reviews on it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Where are you at, Dan? Let's hear it.
Probably super controversial. I'm kind of like in the middle. Like I understand where you guys are coming from, but I also, if you're gonna sell the game, and this goes for any game, and people are gonna pay money for it, then I think you could do a review on it, but there has to be caveats. That this is an unfinished game. You can't come in and say, well, this game is unfinished when it says it's literally unfinished in the description. That's unfair. Now, and I also wonder, if it's like Twitter outrage, if there was no score in it, would people be upset as they are now?
Probably not. I think that's the problem. I think because so many people put so much weight on review scores, for them to come out and give it a 6 and say it's incomplete, it feels like degrading to the developers. What if
it was a 9? Would people be?
That's a great point. Great point. I don't know.
About, how this shouldn't be happening.
I would, but I'm not the majority.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and that's and GameSpot actually reviewed it as well. They gave it a 6, but they also said that they're going to re-review it later on.
They put a comment saying this is a work in progress game and we'll do a full proper review when it releases. Yeah.
And I think that's a fair way to do stuff. But but you can come out and say, well, like Anthem, okay, I'm gonna just go there because I love the game so much. I gave it like a 6 or a 7 when I reviewed it. I came back and a year later or 6 months later, and I gave an update on it because I think that's a fair way to do it, even with full game releases that are like this. Like Sea of Thieves is one, Division, any kind of game, any kind of gas. I think it's fair to kind of come out and do that kind of stuff. The preview should be kind of held to the same standard, I think, but I also get what people are saying. I totally understand that, and 11 out of 10 names. It's nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna publish our review later today. It's actually it's beyond a masterpiece, historic on our And then tomorrow I'm gonna announce that we got the most hits ever at Season Gaming in one day. So it's awesome. Thanks for all the success, guys.
In 4G, but it'll be but yeah, I mean, I get it. I get why people are upset, especially when you have like such an attachment to the game. If you really, really enjoyed it, and then somebody comes out and says, well, it's a 6, and you're like, well, wait a minute, it's in preview. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
But it's just funny how I think people get upset about stuff is more of my thing. I mean, like I said,
that's a common theme. People get upset over stuff that really doesn't impact them.
If it came out and IGN's like, this is a 9 right now, I think people would have been like, yeah, that's fair. Thanks. But it didn't. It got a 6. And they should absolutely come back in 6 months to a year and say, hey, we're going to kind of relook at this and take another look at it. And for sure they did it for clicks.
It'll
it's such a
right
now.
100%.
If they, I'm sure most of those sites are going to go back and review it again, but at that point it's going to be too late. Everybody saw the 6, and
I think that's the problem that some people, so even rational people have a problem with it. It's right. You should not have put a score on it. It's fine to put an article about it, do impressions of it, say it's incomplete, whatever you want to say about it.
Right.
And I don't really care about score either because I'll play a game if I like it.
Yeah, me too.
100%. Yeah, it is what it is, man. What are you gonna do? Just ignore it. That's I said that last week.
It didn't bother me at all. I just figured we'd talk about it. But I'll just state, as I've stated a million times, this is why I love Season Gaming not being monetized, because I don't have to worry about effing clicks. You know what I mean? If I did, we'd have a review of Grounded Up right now. We don't. So it's crazy. All right. Episode 117. You know what that means?
Oh, jeez.
We're going to talk about our favorite Halo memories. Before we get in, so we're going to get into Fall Guys, because I want to talk a lot about Fall Guys. I want to talk about Avengers beta as well and some other stuff that we're playing. But before we get into that, I figured it's episode 117. As a massive Halo fan, I would be completely remiss if we didn't at least mention it and have some fun with it. So I figured we'd take just a couple minutes, the next 4.5 hours, to talk about our favorite Halo memories. And I know, Dan, that may be a very, very short list for you, but at least just something that a positive thing having to do with Halo or Master Chief as a character, whatever it may be. So
you guys go first, because I'm going to have to really think about this.
God dang it, Dan. All right. And by the way, Shaun, I'll give you an extra second to think about it. They're slowly releasing Halo soundtracks are some of the, I think it's fair to say, I'm not being controversial to say, they're some of the best gaming soundtracks ever. They're highly acclaimed, won all sorts of awards. They're slowly starting to release tracks off of the Halo Infinite soundtrack. They released one 2 weeks ago, and then they released one this week, which is absolutely incredible. Anyone who's a Halo fan I promise you're going to love it. So if you haven't checked that out, check on YouTube, the official Halo channel. It's one of their latest videos. You can find it there. I forget the title of it, but it's incredible. I did
hear the one 2 weeks ago. I heard that one.
That one's really good, and I was already excited. Listen to the one from this week. It's like, oh my God, it's incredible. Yeah. So Shaun, I know you said you're a Halo fan. You're not really huge into like the lore, which is fine. I don't think most Halo fans are really, I'd say you're normal Halo fans, right? Like you have Star Wars fans, and then you have the Star Wars fans who are Star Wars fans. You know what I mean? Yeah. They're like in the books and they're dressing up and all that, right? So I think normal Halo fans love the games, love multiplayer, campaign, what have you, but they don't really get into the core lore and books and comics and all that, and that's fine. So, okay, yeah, perfect. So from a game perspective, right, Xbox history, Halo games, give us something that, when you think of Halo, a good Halo memory, what sticks out to you?
It's always Halo 3. Like whenever like somebody asks me that question, like what's your favorite Halo memory, it always goes back to Halo 3, 360. I just remember it just being huge. I just remember playing it online, just being bigger than most multiplayer games, and then just playing the single player, like co-op was that was awesome. Yeah, like I would play with my cousin, and we would stay up like all night. Like he doesn't live, he lives different city, whatever. But that was just our thing. I wasn't the best at the multiplayer, but I was pretty good. But it didn't matter because it was just addicting. Like sticking people with grenades is like my thing. That's like what I would try to do. And then they added the whole, what was it, go back the replay with the camera, and I thought that was like the greatest thing ever, where you can replay the matches and zoom in and out.
Yeah, that's something Halo and Bungie at the time did really well, right? They were very innovative with building a community around it. Because you're right, they had the replay system, they had Forge, so they created community games and maps. Still do, of course, but they were one of the first outside of PC to really do that with games. So yeah,
so it was great.
Very cool.
Taking that, what's it, Scarab? Is that what it's called? The giant. Yeah, taking that out with my cousin and some friends. Like Halo 3, probably biggest memory.
It's interesting because. So did you ever go back? I know you said you didn't do original Xbox, right? So do Halo CE and Halo 2 have any memory for you, or did you kind of start at Halo 3?
I did. Well, I did play the first and second Halo at my cousin's house because he had an Xbox. I did. So 360 was my first Xbox.
Right.
And then I replayed it again for the Master Chief Collection. So I think if I would have played it during its prime, then I know a lot of people go into Halo 2 being their favorite. My favorite memories might be, a little bit different, but it's always the 360.
Okay, cool. Dan, did you have enough time?
I got all kinds of time.
Give us something. Come on. I'm going to clip this and save it.
Yeah. Halo Reach, the favorite Halo game. I've said that multiple times.
Halo fans, Dan, a lot of people have Reach as their favorite. So you're not alone.
But like my best or my most fond memory, I guess, was a couple of them. There's and this is where I'm going to get roasted because I don't remember. I'm pretty sure it was the end of Halo 3. We were riding that Warthog down through, like at the very end of the game. It's just like a huge.
So they did that. That's Halo. No, it's 1 and 3. So
There's 3 that I remember.
Okay, yeah, because Halo 3, what they did at the end there, where you're racing to get away, was basically a callback to Halo CE.
Okay, there you go. So that was awesome. That was probably my favorite Halo moment in a game. But I think my biggest memories are playing Forge with the kids.
Okay.
And being able, I let them go and create and do whatever they wanted to do, and then I come back 10 minutes later and we play around, and then the other one would do it, and that was super fun for me. And that's where I, split screen, couch co-op. That's where Halo really kind of mattered to me in those areas. And like I said, I've always said I don't hate the game by any stretch of the imagination.
It's become more of a running joke at this point.
Yeah, it's more of a joke. It's such a huge IP, and it's such a really, really important for a lot of people, and I respect that. At the same time, it's no bug snacks. So
imagine Master Chief and Bug Snacks just literally slaughtering all of them. Right?
Yeah, and also Craig. That's another great memory.
Craig,
the fresh one. So.
I don't have any fresh Craig memes ready for you today. But, to anyone that is upset, as we always say, about us talking about Halo, just remember, there's no need to be upset.
He's the best, man. I mean, this is the kind of marketing that Microsoft needs for this.
We've said it before. They're doing the right thing. You just play into it. And did you see that there's actually people getting mad that they're playing into it? It's like, why aren't you upset about this?
No.
Stupid.
Shaun, you did that one with the Halo and the bug snacks and the visor, dude.
Oh yeah, that was great. That was great.
I didn't think. That kind of exploded. I think that was right before the trailer before they released.
Yes. Yeah, when they did kind of the animated picture image right on Twitter. Yeah.
Poor Craig.
Yeah. So I could talk about Halo for hours. We know this, but I've got 2 memories I'll just call out real quick that stand out to me. And one of them I've talked about before. So to your point, Shaun, I was going into 2001. I had the PS2, right? And Dreamcast. I was a big Sega guy. And as the GameCube and Xbox approached, they launched within a few days of each other, the GameCube and original Xbox. And I was thinking that Nintendo was going to kind of reclaim their dominance, if you will, with GameCube. And so I had GameCube pre-ordered with 6 games, and I completely ignored Xbox. I was like, Microsoft, they don't belong in the console business, one of those guys. And so I went and picked up my GameCube, and went and finished paying off my GameCube, whatever, at EB Games or EB Software, whatever it was at the time. And the Xbox kiosk was there, and of course, all the Xbox kiosks had Halo CE. And on my way out, I was like, well, let me hold this thing. And it had the big hamburger controller, of course. And I was like, this controller's a mess, you know what I mean? But I played Halo, and they always start on the second level, which is when you first open up, right? And you play that first 5-10 minutes, and I was literally standing there in awe. And I remember the first time I'm standing at the kiosk there, I played for over half an hour. And I went home, and I couldn't stop thinking about it. And I've told the story that I was dating a girl at a time, and she didn't know what to get me for Christmas. And I was talking about this, and she's like, well, let's go get it. And we went back that night and bought an Xbox and Halo CE with an extra controller. And my GameCube basically collected dust. I only played Halo. That was it. I had 6 games for the GameCube. It barely ever got turned on. And from that point on, I've been a Halo diehard. I would say, to your point, Shaun, the launch of Halo 3 was really impressive. I stood in line for midnight launch. It was the first game that had, well, not the first maybe, but it had the incredible Legendary Edition with the big helmet, right? Which at the time really wasn't a thing. And everyone went home. And the cool thing about Halo 3 was as people logged into the multiplayer, it had that world map. So it showed all the regions coming online. Like I was on the East Coast. And so it started all lighting up of all the people coming on to play multiplayer. And as the night went on, the rest of the US lit up, and you could see all these players logging on to play Halo 3 multiplayer. And it's one of the most fun nights ever. I had 4 people over at my house, big Sony 32-inch, 500-pound CRT TV.
32-inch.
I still got it. I still have it.
You do.
Yeah, you've seen it. and we sat there and played to, I think the first friend left at maybe like 4 a.m., but me and another buddy played till like, after the sun came up, and he just played forever. And I used to hold Halo LAN parties, and I mean, Halo has been a huge part of my history, so I could go on forever. But yeah, kind of fun that we hit episode 117. So many good Halo memories. I think Infinite, as we already talked about, is going to be a game changer for the industry this fall.
I can't
with
wait.
The way it's so pumped, definitely pumped. So cool. All right, let's get into. We got rant time. We haven't even ranted yet. We've had so much controversy to talk to. I do have a rant I want to get to. So we're going to what's grinding my gears, our newest segment here. Nice. And who wants to kick us off? Shaun, you got something you want to yell about?
Yeah, he does.
No, I never complain. What are you talking about? Well,
not obligated, by the way. You don't have to.
No, it's fine. I guess. I mean, we all make fun on Twitter. That's fine. Like, we all do it. It's fun. Then there's people that take it too serious. Like they go like, 2 steps too far, and then that's when it gets kind of disgusting. I have my Bugsnax jokes, but because I like making fun of it. But I'm gonna buy Bugsnax. Like it's actually, I'm intrigued in the game, so I'm actually gonna get it, and I'm very open about it. I'm gonna get the game. Like, I just like poking fun. But I guess my rant is about people that spend all day talking about the things that they have no interest in, or like the consoles they don't like.
Yeah,
that's like, well, say some good things about the console you do like, instead of like and like so people would. I'm just an example, like they'll, and it goes both ways too, not just like it's Xbox fans and PlayStation fans. Like Xbox fans would be like,
it's all sides.
Yeah, they'll say like, Sea of Thieves is the biggest game ever, blah blah blah. And it's like, but do you play it? And they're like, no. But they just want that bragging right. And PlayStation fans, like they talk about like Spiderman, Miles Morales, but they don't even play Spiderman. It's just, and I mean, I understand, like you're excited about the things you're invested in. I'm invested in all the systems. I do have my preference, and I'm very open about that. Like I prefer Xbox, but I love PlayStation. I have no problems with PlayStation and stuff like that. But just have fun. Poke fun.
By the way, this may be the calmest rant I've ever heard in my life.
That's the most even-keeled person I've ever.
That's fair, though. No, that's fair. I think you're absolutely right. And Dan and Bert and I actually, we chat offline every day, all day. And one of the things we constantly complain about is people who just, it feels like they have nothing better to do in their life, but just bitch all day about meaningless stuff. It's just so strange to me. It doesn't make any sense.
Or any little like rumor or something like that, then they just go off like, I guess for an example, like, I guess the Medium, that game, the Medium for Xbox. The ray tracing icon disappeared, and then people just went nuts. Yeah, Xbox is losing ray tracing, blah, 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 and then a few days later, they're like, oh no, it is gonna, it does have ray tracing.
Yeah, developer came out and said that was just a mistake. Of course, Xbox Series X has ray tracing, and it's like, yeah,
but like we had to listen to like 2 days of people just going crazy about it. So
yeah. All right, Dan, what do you got?
I'm wondering like if we're gonna like overlap, because we didn't really talk about it, but didn't.
You can get us started. Go for it. I know where you're going.
Monday, we had a controller issue.
There you go. I'm there. That's where I'm going.
We're on two sides. I know we are on two sides of this story.
Let's get it.
All right. Not one time in this entire ever until right now have I ever been able to play a new console with a new controller or with an old controller.
Yourself.
So right now. All right. But for some reason, people got really, really upset. And this is where all the anti-consumer stuff started this week.
It's toxic.
Driving me crazy. All right. You literally get a controller with your, PS5. Just use that one. I understand. Trust me. Ains, how many freaking $200 controllers do I own? Too many. Right?
Yeah, too many.
So,
more than me, and I have too many.
I've got the, I've got all the peripherals for, third-party stuff. And none of that's probably going to work. You know what? Fine. Whatever. I mean, I never really expected it to. Xbox was very clear that they would. Sony, their messaging is garbage.
They're anti-consumer. What?
They're anti-consumer. Yeah. I don't care. The whole point of the thing is, listen, if you're gonna sit here and complain and cry about, your old controller is not working, I mean, just show me one. I mean, I never, I think when we had the chat, I was like, we were talking about some game, and I asked you if I can play it with my N64 controller. And, it just doesn't matter because you're gonna have. I mean, I obviously prefer the offset sticks, right?
Yeah.
And of the Xbox controller, but what Sony.
Well, we use the Nacon, right, on the
yeah,
PS4.
I use the Nacon or use the Astro, the
Yeah.
C40 or whatever, the Revolution Pro X Deluxe. I don't know what the hell they call it. For the most part, I've actually been using the DS4 quite a bit lately, just because my Astro's in the shop. I should get it in 7 to 8 months. I
In
think.
the shop.
it was broken, so they sent me an email. It's like, well, it should be here in about 20 to 30 weeks. I'm like, what in the hell are you talking about?
Are you being serious?
Yeah, it was something huge. It was
that's ridiculous.
I think it was like 15 weeks or something like that.
Oh, wow.
Like by then it won't work because I'll be on PS5 anyway.
Yeah,
so it won't
exactly. By the time I get it back, it'll be an antiquated thing. But I don't know. I guess it's just one of those things where it's like, we see them going in different directions. Totally.
Yes.
We're going, okay, well, Xbox is going towards that services, play wherever you want to. PlayStation is like, you're coming with us to the PS5 or you're
whether
not.
you like it or not.
This is what it is. But I mean, and we've talked about it. I just never have seen people get so upset, and I think it's partially Microsoft's fault because they make everything so nice and pro-consumer. It's like, hey, look, you got all this great stuff. You can just take your controller with you. Okay, well then now everybody expects that stuff. And it's
they should. That's called mark. That's how markets work.
Well, not necessarily. If you want to take, they want money. Sony likes money.
It's like the first car that had automatic windows. Other companies weren't like, we're not doing that.
Well, they don't need to. I mean, they can do maybe it takes them a year. I don't know. I don't know how this tech works either, so I couldn't sit here and tell you, whatever. I just don't care. I guess is the point of it. It's the whole point is just. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If you're worried about, spending that extra $60 for all these people that all of a sudden play couch co-op games, shut up. I mean, sorry, but I mean, really, we don't have, I don't know when the last time I did. I think it was Halo 3 Forge is the last time I actually really couch co-op with people, and people that are wanting that experience are probably going to get a Switch, if I were guessing, that family experience. I have. And plus, that DS4 controller is garbage anyway. Why'd you want to take it with you? I have two red controllers, two of them, just the red ones. Sticks are completely jacked up on them. Barely used them.
The DualShock 4 sticks are trash. I don't even use the word trash often, but they're trash.
They are trash. All right, the batteries on those things were trash. Why would I want to take them with me anyway? They were garbage. So I'm hoping for and as far as all the special things you can do with them, I'm not going to be blowing in my controller. If I do that, that's it. I'm never.
Aren't you?
Maybe I will. I don't know, man. I think it's a little bit overblown, but at the same time, I also understand. But we're kind of getting spoiled a little bit.
We're actually not on two sides of this, Dan. It is overblown, and I'll say that it's not a huge deal. But I think my problem with it is that it doesn't need to be a deal at all. That PS4 control. So let's back up a minute. Let me say this. This is the thing that's really grinding my gears. If you're ever one of those people that has said, but this is how it's worked for generations, smack yourself in the face.
I just said it. God damn it.
I know. Then I told you to smack yourself. Because it doesn't matter what industry you're talking about. And as an application designer, it drives me absolutely bonkers. One of the first things I told all my teams was, don't ever let me hear you say that's the way we've always done it. That's the worst statement you can ever make, because it just shows that you're not thinking about innovating or moving away from the way you've done things. So the fact that someone says, well, I didn't use my PS1 controller on the PS2. Well, that was 20 years ago. We were still on wired controllers. They were using different wireless signals because you had like infrared, you had RF signals, you had Bluetooth, 2.4 gig. You had all these different things, right? That over time, as technology evolves, it becomes a pain in the ass for a company to support old tech, right? So on those generational lines, it made more sense. Sony has already said, yeah, your controller will work on the PS5. There's literally no connectivity issue whatsoever. It will work on the system. It's just not going to work for these games. That's purely a programming perspective that they're doing purposely to get you to buy more PS5 controllers. It's not necessary. That's what drives me crazy about it. It doesn't matter to me. You know me. I don't care.
Yeah, I'm buying two on launch anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I'm buying it at launch. If I need an extra controller, it doesn't matter to me. It's not about the money. It's not about anything else. It just doesn't make logical sense. It's because it's literally just them saying, we don't want this to work. It's not that it can't work. It's we don't want this to work. And I think the
controller's probably a lot better anyways. Like, like you said, like, I don't like the PS4. I would prefer using the PS5 controller.
Me too, but see, to Dan's point, like I have a Nikon Unlimited Pro with the offset sticks, and it's a really nice controller, right? There's no reason for it not to work. Zero. Yep. And people are like, well, I've seen all kinds of crazy takes on this. Well, Sony's making their developers use the haptic feed. No, they're not. No, they're not. I guarantee Xbox One has haptic triggers. Has had them since 2013. How many games use them?
Forza.
What if you got to blow into something?
It's not going to happen.
No,
you're going to have a few games.
What I don't understand is what is causing, that
nothing.
issue.
Nothing. Yeah. That's my point. There's nothing stopping them. They're literally just saying the controller won't work from PS5 games. That's it. There's no reason for it. So that's my only complaint. Like I said, it doesn't impact me. I don't really care. It's definitely being overblown. This is not something we need to talk about for more than 5 minutes, even though we've already been talking for 10 minutes about it. Right. But I just get annoyed at the fact that it's clear they're doing it because they can, not because of some other reason like used to be. Like I said, generations ago when you were moving from wires or you're moving to completely different tech or wireless and all these other things. And like I said, the comment of that's how it's been for generations. Stop it. We used to have 4 megabit cartridges. Guess what? We don't have those anymore. Technology advances.
Aren't they leaving the old tech in the past, though, by advancing to this new controller that they have? No?
What old tech? It's the same controller.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it looks nicer.
It's white. Didn't you see it's white?
White. I don't know, man. I literally don't know. I've read a little bit about what it does, and it doesn't, aside from the blowing into the speaker thing.
I think the Wii U, you can blow into the Wii U. So that's,
Yeah, that's
right. You could.
Yeah, it's got haptic feedback and the blow-in feature, and I think a mic, they said, right? Like an active mic on it. A mic, like I said, hardly any games are going to use the haptics. I'll call it right now. You can, if we get the next year and 80% of games are using haptic feedback on PS5, I will gladly say I'm wrong. I guarantee you that won't happen.
Especially third-party games.
Exactly. They'd have to program it separately for PS5 over PS5, Series X, and PC. They're not going to do that.
Yeah, third party's not going to do that.
No.
Yeah, the Switch has the haptic rumbles, but I don't know many games that use that either, other than like 1-2 Switch. And it feels
first party.
Yeah, it's the first party, and you can actually is very accurate the way it feels. But that's the only game I know that uses it.
Yeah, that's my point. So, like I said, we don't have to stay on it. I don't like the. Okay, we're going to stay on it for a second. The one, and it's not really about the PS4, but I think, Dan, we were talking about this. It's like anytime any issue comes up, even small things like this, which this is a small thing, everyone has to fall into like two sides. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, this side's going to make it the biggest deal ever, and PlayStation 5's anti-consumer, and Sony's anti-consumer, and they're terrible, and I'm never buying anything PlayStation again. Stop it. Okay, stop it. Then the other side has to say, I don't give a shit at all. You guys are stupid. I'm going to spend $800 more because I can. And it's like, well, it doesn't have to be that way either. Can't we have a conversation in the middle and just say, it doesn't really bother me, but looking at it realistically, they shouldn't be doing it this way either. Just have a normal conversation. I hate how everything's got to flow into like two sides. You know what I mean?
Or come to my side where you just give $0 and you just do whatever. Just buy your shit. That's
I just want my Nikon to work.
Yeah.
I just want my Nikon to work.
Yeah, ideally that would be great. Especially for those things. I've got Astro 850s. Those aren't cheap, but I know for a fact they're going to work on the Series X, because Astro has already come out and said it.
They had that partnership. Yeah.
I don't know anything about the PS5.
Yeah. And it feels like game specific, like that you had to use the DualSense controller, then that totally makes sense. But
Right.
if it doesn't use any of the features, then I don't, like you said, I don't see why it shouldn't.
Yeah, and even then, we've seen in the past there's ways to get around that. There's either warnings that you should preferably use the native controller, right? Or you just don't have the feature. We were talking about how the Nacon doesn't have the speaker, right? So like Ghost of Tsushima or Last of Us uses it. There's other first-party games that use the speaker. If you're using a Nacon, you don't get that. But that's okay. That's by choice. Let the player decide. I could use a DualShock 4 if I wanted to. So anyway, that's enough about that. That's enough about that. Let's talk about what we're playing, especially Fall Guys and Avengers. So Fall Guys, man, Fall Guys is crushing it. I know some people ahead of time said maybe this is the next Rocket League, because for those of you who may not remember, Rocket League launched on PS as a PS Plus title for free for PS Plus members, built a very big audience on PlayStation because of it, and obviously has turned into this massive, massive game. I mean, Rocket League has tens of millions of players. What we're seeing out of Fall Guys right now is, they're way, way more popular than I think they anticipated. Dan, we were just talking prior to the show, right? They've set the Steam concurrent user or player count like
25,000 or something.
Concurrent, which is higher than Grounded, higher than Sea of Thieves, higher than a bunch of other big games that we're playing this week. And that's just on Steam, right? That's not counting PlayStation. And so, the servers have crashed multiple times and they've had to update things to get it working because there's just so many people playing. And so I don't know about you guys, but I only played a match this week. I've been so busy this week, but I hopped on this morning and played like 5 or 6 matches, and the game's just hilarious. It's just one of those games you can jump in for 5 minutes or an hour, play as much as you want, have a laugh. It doesn't take itself seriously at all. Even their social media accounts just crushing it. They're just really funny, just really kind of getting into the community and having fun with it. So Dan, I know you've played this a little bit. Shaun, you checking this out at all?
I have not. I do want to get it. My son was asking me, "Have you heard of the game Fall Guys?" And I don't have you. Like, I don't even know how he heard of it. But I do want to check it out. I don't have PS Plus anymore, so
okay.
Fork over however much it costs.
CD key, $30.
How much?
$30.
Oh, no.
He's talking about for PS Plus though. I don't know how much. Like, I don't know if you went to buy Fall Guys on PS4, how much it is.
$20, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was free, right? If you had PS Plus,
it's free for PS Plus.
If you're going to spend $20,
yeah,
right? You might as well
spend the 30. Because you can get a year of PS Plus for $30 right now.
Yeah, it's on cdkeys.com.
But I do like those type of games. Like it's it kind of reminds me of Super Monkey Ball. I used to play a lot of Super Monkey Ball.
Oh yeah, me too. Love those.
It was like fun couch co-op games, whatever. But this is like on a bigger scale. I don't even know how many people are playing, but there's like
60.
Oh wow, see, and it's
the games are 60 people. Yeah,
and you get eliminated, right? And it just more.
Yeah, it goes like level by level, and it eliminates a certain number of people on every level. And the levels are like completely randomized, so you never really know what's coming. That way, it keeps it fresh, as you play new games.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I do want to check it out.
It's definitely worth it. It's definitely put a smile on my face while playing it for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Dan, didn't you say you've already like spent real money on it?
Yeah, I always do stuff like that. I wanted to be a pirate. It was a free game, so I figured, well, I'd spend throw a little bit of money towards the devs. It's a fun game, and I hate these kind of games. Hate them, can't stand them. I mean, it's multiplayer, it's battle royale. I mean, you've lost me already. So, when I started playing it, I was like, this is actually pretty fun, and it's pretty easy to pick up.
Super easy.
It's got those really awkward controls, but it's not like where it's really, really bad, like a Gang Beasts kind of game or something like that, where it's super, super ridiculous. But
maybe the haptic feedback will help on PS5.
That could. If I had a DualSense, I'd be rocking that shit. So anyway, but yeah, I mean, it's super fun. My kids, you're playing it. Kind of jumping back and forth. They're playing it on their PlayStation now with their friends. it's a good game, and I don't say that very often. It's one of those games, like you said, you kind of go in and out, and say, okay, I'm gonna play Ghost of Tsushima for a little bit, and then I'm gonna jump in and play 5 or 6 rounds of Fall Guys. Super fun. I think I played it with a couple guys the other night, and we were just cracking up. I have to really, really watch my mouth when I'm on there because I start yelling and screaming. And I haven't done that, and that to me kind of proves that I'm actually enjoying the game because I don't do that very much anymore. So, but it was fun. It was
nice.
Fun.
And so before I give my comments on that, I missed a super chat by Mariano, our regular.
It was.
Calling it up. Just want to say, Shaun, your patience on Twitter with crappy people amazes him. He's blowing up while you're calm and dropping facts to people. So thank you very much, Mariano, as always. He said that's right. I'm loving Fall Guys. A lot of fun. I love the art style. And I don't know about you guys, but Shaun today hasn't played it yet, but the damn theme song on the menu, the main menu song,
yeah, man,
it has been stuck in my head since yesterday, and I can't get it out. I just keep hearing it constantly. It's very fun. Very fun.
I have to check it out.
Yeah, definitely check it out. And you can team up. So, Dan, you said you teamed up because I haven't yet.
Yeah.
That would seem to me like it would almost break the game a little bit because. No, go ahead.
So you I don't know how many people you can have at once. We had 3.
You can have 4, I think.
Okay, say you have 4 people.
Yep.
The game really kind of, because it's not like, okay, you go into the first round and then automatically this is the number of people that are eliminated. Maybe the first round. But after that, there are some rounds in games where 2 people might be eliminated or 4 people. And then the game adapts to however many people there are and then says, okay, well, we can pick one of these 4 or 5 games next, like whatever puzzle it is or whatever level you're going to. Say, like there's one where there's 12 squares or something like that,
yes.
Right? And it's got
like the memory game.
Yeah, the memory game, right?
Yeah.
Everybody could survive that technically.
Yeah.
Or nobody could, if it
sure.
really came down to it. So I think the game kind of figures out like how many people are there. Like some of them are team-based games where you have to, get a chicken egg and put it somewhere or something.
Yep.
And then when you get down to the finals, it's just every man for themselves. So even
if you're playing in a team,
right? Yeah, it's not team-based at all. You're just going after it. Like
that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, there was one where I was just like, I was just blocking people.
Well, that's what I was going to ask, right? Like, say there's the final run is like 8 or 9 people usually, the final level.
Well, there's several different ones.
Okay.
There's one where you've got to get a tail, like whoever has a tail.
Yeah, I played that one this morning.
And then there's one with like a crown. You have to run to the crown.
Yes.
So yeah, you could technically, if like 2 guys just started blocking.
That's what I mean.
You could do that.
Yeah, see, I don't like that.
Okay. Don't be an idiot. I mean, you got to, I was wondering why I was getting blocked, a couple times. I was like, what in the heck is going on? I said, oh, these guys are probably on the same team.
I did get an achievement this morning called like bully because I don't know what I was doing. But, have you played the one where the thing spins and you have to jump it?
Oh, yeah.
And you get knocked off? Well, like right when, right when the thing spins around and gets ready, I was like grabbing people and holding them and then jumping and they were getting smacked off.
I did that and I got smacked off.
So it's fun. There's like no controls to it, Shaun. You literally run around and you're kind of wobbly. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you can jump, and then you can hold the trigger to just grab people, but they can break free within 2 seconds.
Yeah,
it's like very fast.
Or there's a dive button too.
Made by the Gang Beast people, or
it's made by Media Molecule.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember what I know that, but I can't remember what they made in the past.
Little Big Planet.
Yeah, Media Molecule is Dream.
Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong group then.
Dreams Big Planet.
Someone in chat correct me. I'm sure I'm almost positive there's Molecule or Media in the title. I thought it was Media Molecule.
It's Little Big Planet and Dreams. So it's online only, right? There's no coach.
Correct.
You're saying coach.
Mediatonic. Sorry, Mediatonic, not Media Molecule.
Gotcha. Mediatonic.
Yes, it is online only. Yeah, so it's super simple, man. You've got your main menu and your character, and you can. It's all about earning cosmetics. There's like a battle pass that's free, so as you play and earn points, you unlock new cosmetics, and you can buy cosmetics, like Dan was saying. But you hit X to play, it puts you in a lobby with 60 people. That's it, and then you play. That's why it's so nice about it. And then when you die, you can continue to watch the whole game if you want to, or you can just exit, put you in the menu, you can jump right back in. It's super fast to just play through games. So like I got eliminated on the first round this morning and I wasn't happy about it, but I immediately just jumped into another round. It takes like a minute. It's awesome.
Your kids will love it, man. Love it.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. So cool. All right. What else? Avengers. So Avengers beta is out on PS4 anyway, if you've pre-ordered. I think IGN's doing a review later today for it. But Shaun, are you playing Avengers yet?
No, because if I do, play it on the Xbox.
Okay, so you're going to get it on Xbox. Okay, so I think Xbox beta, if you've pre-ordered, is next Friday. And then the week after that is open beta on all platforms.
Yeah, I haven't pre-ordered yet, so I usually kind of last minute, I'm just going to get this.
Okay, all right, so open beta is in 2 weeks then. Dan, I know you said you've been playing. I've seen mixed impressions of. Some people seem to really like it. Some people are like, this is all right. What are your thoughts on it?
It's one of those games that it's like, if you like that IP and you like Avengers, you'll probably enjoy it. Okay. But it's really, really, really Anthem-y right now. I mean, it's beta, so you have to expect a certain amount. But if you're starting to see like assets that are being reused a lot, you go to an area and there might be 7 different missions in that one area, but you can only do one at a time. So you do that mission, you come back and you go back to it and you do another one. There's not a whole lot of story in the beta. Obviously, I think it's a couple of missions and that's it. It's probably a better game to play with your friends, but these things last, like these little missions are like 5 minutes and that's it. You're done. And it seems really, really, it's even shorter than some of these missions. So than what Anthem had, which is crazy to me.
Matt says you can't stop talking about Anthem.
But it's good.
Every
the content is the issue. What do you say, Shaun?
No, I said every segment had like a little Anthem.
Yeah, it should. But that's what they're going to run into. They're going to run into things being very, very similar over and over and over again. You're seeing it in such a small sample size with the beta.
Yeah.
That it's going to just extend into the main game. I think the story might be good. It seems pretty interesting. Yeah. You get to play a little bit as all the Avengers in there at the beginning of the game. Then it kind of puts you into like a table, kind of like like a war room, and you've got different locations throughout the globe. Each one of those might have a 5-minute mission where you go in and it's a capture the flag, where you got to just hold a couple points for 4 or 5 minutes.
Capture the flag.
It's like you're in this room and there's like 3 different servers and you have to maybe not capture the flag, but domination or whatever.
Like a horde mode or something.
You have to capture a point on the map. There's 3 different points. There's A, B, and C, and you have to as the more you hold, the faster your little meter goes up.
Yeah.
And it's
kind of weird.
It's weird. The AI is good as far as your teammates. So you take some people with you. Your AI teammates seem to do a good job. And they don't just kind of stand there, which is what I was worried about. So that's good. But I don't know, man. I mean, I'm going to enjoy it, I think, just because I like the IP.
Sure.
But I can also see this getting super repetitive really, really fast.
Okay.
That's the biggest concern with it, I think.
Okay. So, so Lunch Bizzle said Mediatonic made Gears pop, which surprisingly, I don't play mobile games, but it was a surprisingly pretty good mobile game.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, Lunch Bizzle, I know my camera does that. It only does it on Streamlabs. I don't know why it does it. It hasn't done it on any other platform. So, I'll have to open a ticket with them and see what's going on. Anyway, what was I going to say? Yeah, so one thing I heard about it, Dan, is it's got a loot aspect, right? And it's almost like RPG elements where you can gain things and get gear and everything and power up and everything. But they said it doesn't change your appearance at all. Is that right?
Yeah, so those pieces don't, but you have the option to, you can also gain, the coins, and that's what you use to open up different skins, I guess.
Oh, they're doing it that way. Okay, so
yeah, so that's
you've got loot for your build, but then your appearance is based on just skins.
Right. Yeah, it's just everything is the same. I mean, if you got like 3 different, like Miss Marvel has different kinds of armbands or whatever, but they all look the same unless you switch their skins.
I heard it was kind of like Assassin's Creed Odyssey, where like if you really like the look of your character, but you want the stats of another armor, then you can keep the stats, but then change your look or something. Yeah,
your skin is basically set into whatever you want it to be. So all the pieces that you get will just increase the stats. It's funny though, because some of them do look a little bit different, like in the menu where you're picking them, but it doesn't have any kind of cosmetic effect whatsoever. It's just stats.
I don't know. No, I'm not playing it, so it doesn't matter. But
it's not WYSIWYG.
Yeah. So Irrelevant Native, what's up, dude? He said, do you expect the main game to flesh it out a bit more? Do you think the story that it could build on for the core game is going to be better, or do you think it's really going to be, these kind of little segments it's what we saw to Anthem, right? Is that every mission felt very same to you. It was like fly here, fight these things, fly back, and just got really repetitive.
Yeah, the only thing that I can see it, being better at is that you can kind of customize. Once they start releasing different heroes, you can basically make your team up before you go in. If you're playing single player, I don't think it's going to be. I think it's not co-op, so you have to play by yourself.
Okay.
The campaign, I should say. So I can see where it'd be fun to kind of switch up some characters here and there, but for the most part, I think after the story's done, you're just going to be kind of grinding these little quick missions, and they could be fun, like I said, with other players. I don't know how fun they'd be by yourself if you kept doing the same thing over and over and over again.
To Sean's point, like playing Horde, you play Horde with friends. You don't play Horde solo.
Yeah, I think this is what it's geared toward for sure. For sure.
Okay. Well, cool. Interested, obviously, we'll be talking more about Avengers. It's one of the biggest releases coming next month. And like we said, open beta is in 2 weeks. So Xbox beta next week, open Bizzle. I looked at the chat right when I started speaking and said open Bizzle. Open beta in 2 weeks. Lunch Bizzle, $10 super chat. Thank you so much, dude. What do we say here? Just bought the Mega Constructs energy sword, and it's all your fault.
That's fair. That thing looks tiny.
You'll thank me later. The box is smaller than I thought it was going to be.
That makes sense. Blocks.
So it's 567 pieces. And another interesting thing, so you can't really see this. I don't know. By the way, guys, in chat, this is the first week where they're allowing full 1080p streaming, which we're doing. So let us know if the image is better for you guys right now than it traditionally is. But if you look here, inside here, I haven't opened it yet because I just picked it up last night, but it actually has a download code for Halo Infinite. So for those not familiar with how Halo 5 was, Halo 5 had rec packs for multiplayer, which were like things you could use in the Warzone game mode and stuff, and skins and armor and so all the stuff you can unlock. But it definitely looks like Halo Infinite's going to do something similar because it says available on the game launch date and includes ULC, but it doesn't say what ULC is anywhere. So another thing that's funny is, so they have the energy sword, they have the Master Chief helmet, which I haven't seen in stores yet. You guys probably can't see that. And then right here, they have a piece of a Halo ring. So it's like a piece of a Halo ring with land on it, and you can actually buy like 8 or 10 of these and connect them together and make a whole Halo ring.
God, so, how much is that going to cost?
Well, yeah, that's the Halo ring is $30. So someone's already done it. There's a guy on Reddit who built a whole ring. So, yeah. So, but it looks pretty cool. But I don't have it behind me. But I'm actually building the Lego NES right now. I'm doing a video for it. I'm doing a time lapse video and building it. So I have the NES and the cartridge built, but I've got to build the TV now, which is even more. So this is. Sorry, Sean.
No, I want the NES one. Yeah.
It's cool, man. It's real cool. I'll show you the video, of course, when done, but I'll send you some pictures too. But someone's like, yeah, this is 567 pieces. That's going to take a while. I was like, the Lego NES is 3,000.
Yeah.
So I've already spent like, I don't know, a few hours on it. I've only got the NES built. So I
showed my wife the NES, and she's like, oh, that's really cool. Then I showed her the price, and she was like,
yeah, it's not
more
cheap.
than the actual NES. Yeah.
Yep, it's not cheap. Yeah, and the stupid thing is, right, I have a launch in the box NES upstairs. It's like, yeah, I'm buying a Lego NES. Yes. Yeah, I went back and started collecting all my classic systems. I have Master System, NES, Genesis, Super Nintendo, all the original launch ones in the box. It's pretty cool. All right, what else we playing right now, man? Sean, what do you play on a regular basis?
I've been super busy, but when I do play Ghost of Tsushima.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I'm still in the first act, so I'm still on the first
Me
bottom
too.
half of the island, and been doing everything and going through the story elements, and then I get sidetracked. But I really like it. That was one of the games I was most excited for PlayStation, even over like The Last of Us 2. So I've been pumped for it. And then as it got closer and closer, maybe because of the wait, I started losing interest. And then now it's kind of getting sad because I was really looking forward to it. And then right at the last minute, I just got really excited for it, and I bought it, and I'm so glad I did. Yeah, it's a great game.
Nice. I know Dan. So Dan did our review. Dan was on his second playthrough, and you platinumed it, right? Dan adores it.
I'm in like Act 3.
Oh, you're still playing through it the second time. You haven't stopped yet.
Yeah, I'm jumping back and forth between several different games. So.
Okay, cool. Is that about it, Sean? I know you said you've been super busy.
Yeah, I think that's all I'm playing. Well, that and Grounded. Every once in a while, I'll jump into Grounded.
Okay.
And then with my kids in Minecraft, dungeons or we'll jump in and play like a few little things. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay, awesome. All right, Lunch Bizzle, thanks for stopping by, man. Have a good rest of the weekend. Dan, what you been up to, man?
Just like we talked about, Fall Guys, whatever, the Avengers beta, and I, for some reason started a new Days Gone playthrough. I have no idea why. I was just like,
random.
You know what? I wanted to see the Death Stranding tank. Maybe that was it.
Death Stranding thing.
Yeah, you can get like the BB.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, it's really weird. You're running around the apocalypse with a little baby in a jar.
Why not?
Yeah, why not? That's pretty cool. Except here's the problem. I started a New Game Plus, and about halfway through what I've played so far, I realized that you can't get that tank until later in the game.
Oh, okay.
And then I was like, well, I should have done that on my save file that I used for my New Game Plus, and then it would have carried over. And so I basically just hauled ass to that part of the game.
Gotcha.
But it's still, it plays pretty much the same as it did before. I noticed different things though when I go back and play games like this. Like Sam Whitmer or whatever his name is that plays Deacon.
Yep.
Terrible. He's a terrible overactor. It's like everything is super pronounced, and it's always like, yeah, but I gotta, God, that's the entire game. I'm just like, man, this guy is gonna drive me nuts. Nuts. I'm not sure I can finish this up. Like,
I remember telling you that when I started playing it because I didn't expect it to be any, game of the year contender. But I was like, man, this guy is just not. He's not appealing to me. He's not a likable protagonist.
Oh, it's just the way. I don't know if it was the writing or the way they was acted. It was driving me crazy, and I was just mad. Like I get mad to a certain point where I'm like, I can't play this anymore. So
you got Jen Ghost of Tsushima is like the total opposite. He's like super chill.
Yeah, he just
Jen's cool. Yeah, see, I like Jen.
He just slices.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you saw, Dan, as much as you like Ghost of Tsushima, but the company that so Prime One Studio that did the God of War really cool statue that I have coming, and then they did Horizon Zero Dawn. They actually have a Jin statue coming.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, it looks awesome too.
Because I have to check it out.
I don't love them enough to buy it, but I can see people, who really adore this game. It's a cool one. So
nice. Sure with that, I played some of that new Pistol Whip VR that just came to PlayStation. I know it's been out on regular VR.
Nice.
It's super fun. It's like super hot, and Beat Saber had a baby. Love it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
How much was it? Do you have to have the sticks?
Yeah, you got to have the motion control. Well, you know what? I don't know. I don't know for sure. I used them.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's super, super fun. It's my kids play it a whole lot differently. Like you're supposed to kind of play it to the beat, as you're shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're just like shooting everything, and it just I was like, you realize you get more points for that. It's super good.
I have it on Oculus. I just haven't played it yet. Yeah.
Oh man, you gotta try it out. It's pretty fun.
Nice.
Pretty fun. That's it. That's all I've been playing then.
So Bomber said that Thor's voice is worse than that.
It's so bad. It's so bad. God.
Wow, that bad, huh? All right,
Oh
wow.
my gosh.
You had to
You
bring
know
it up,
what?
Bomber. We're going back to this.
It's so bad. You know who else has a nails on the chalkboard voice? Troy
Go
Baker.
ahead. Oh, here we go.
Sorry,
Here we
Troy
go.
Baker fans. I think he's a great guy. I take that back. I think he
I
does
was
a
gonna
great
say-
job voice acting.
How about that?
But my gosh, like I've watched a video of his where him and Druckmann and stuff, they were like talking about, I don't know, Last of Us 2. And I mean, I hate when people get like super like emotional and like deep when it's really not that deep. And then like, you know, like a tear rolls down his eye and I'm just like, I'm going to punch you in the mouth.
He feels very, and I know people love Troy Baker, but he feels very pretentious.
He is super pretentious. I want to punch him. But now every time I hear his voice, he's Bruce Banner in the Avengers. I'm just like, oh God, I can just hear the pretentiousness in his voice, and it drives me crazy. But Thor is far worse. Thor is so much worse because it's just bad. It's just like super, super overacted.
Yeah, voice acting can really like affect the game because Assassin's Creed
Sure
Odyssey. I mean, I played as Cassandra because her voice acting was super. I couldn't Alexios or whatever his name is.
Alexios. See, I heard that going in because I didn't buy it at launch, and you know I was like, you know, maybe I'll play as Cassandra, and everyone's like, play as Cassandra. Like Alexios is horrible, and I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Yep.
Yeah, Cassandra was awesome. I loved her.
Yeah, So going into the next one, I don't know who I'm going to pick. I'm going to have to hear their voices a little bit more.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to be male or female Viking yet either.
It's a long game, but I heard you can choose like in the middle.
You can switch.
You switch.
Yeah, you can switch.
It's good.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, it's
pretty. I'll do it.
Yeah, pretty cool. All right, so let's see. Only thing I'm playing some Fall Guys. I haven't played a lot this week. Like I said, I've been super busy. The only other thing I'm playing right now is Dark Souls 3 again, because I started doing the stream. So I'm testing out kind of streaming off my PC to YouTube. I've done 2 episodes so far, and it's been a lot more fun than I anticipated. I did not expect to have that much fun. I did not expect anyone to even show up. So it's been very cool. And I know a bunch of people in the chat right now are the people that have been hanging out in those sessions. So I said it on Thursday or whenever I last streamed. Thank you so much. But it's been a lot of fun. And Dark Souls 3, man, it's an amazing game. It really is. I know that, Dan, we joke about it all the time. And it's not just you, right? But I mean, there's a good percentage of the population of gamers that just, because it is a difficult game, they just don't play those games. Even though it has a huge fan base. But playing through it a second time again now and really kind of just stopping to look at things, and especially playing it on PC where it runs a lot smoother than the old 2016 builds off console, it's incredible. Just an incredible game. Do you play any of the Souls games, Sean?
Bloodborne, and I have Dark Souls 3. I started it. I haven't gotten too far.
Okay.
I don't remember why I stopped. It wasn't difficult. I mean, it was difficult, but I think I just got sidetracked with projects, family, and stuff like that. But I do want to play it though. I'm not good at them, but I do appreciate them, and I do, like the challenge.
Yeah. So we were having that conversation on my last stream about Dark Souls 3 and Bloodborne. I think those 2 are the best of From Software games. I know Dark Souls 1. Yeah, they're the best ones, at least in my opinion. I know some people have an affinity for Dark Souls 1 for obvious reasons, right? Because it kind of changed the industry. But anyway, so that's been really fun. But anyway, a couple of other things I want to mention, and Sean will make sure everyone knows where they can find you, and I'll put your stuff in the description as well. So Patrick Elu, Spook in chat. Pat has a new article out there about what comprises a game that's featured on our site right now. Be sure you check that out if you haven't. It's a really cool article. We've got new reviews coming this week from both Steve and Ryan on some other games. And I didn't even announce it really, but we've reacclimated with OpenCritic. So like 2016, 2017, we were a official review site on OpenCritic, and I got away from it. And OpenCritic did this whole reorg thing in 2018. But I've been working with them, and we're back on there as an official critic now. So you can find Season Gaming reviews on OpenCritic, along with Dan's on there, me, all of us from the site, which is really cool. And then, like I said, doing Dark Souls 3 streams if you just want to, if you're bored, really have nothing else to do, and I mean that sincerely, you have nothing better to do. Come out and hang out with me playing Dark Souls 3. It's a lot of fun, and we're just hanging out. It's not a serious, no death run stream or anything of that nature. But I think I'm going to do episode 3 tonight. So that should be a lot of fun as well. But we are going to get ready to head out of here. Shaun, man, it's been awesome having you on. Always fun to talk with you. Definitely do it again. Seriously, you're one of the ones that has an open invitation. So if you ever just want to come hang out and chat, you can see we're a little more laid back here. You know, you're welcome anytime. So where can we find you? What are you up to? What do you want people to know?
You can find me on Twitter at Shaun LaBrie. Just usually talking about video games, Xbox, PlayStation. I do freelance work, like, you know, people's avatars, you know, artwork and stuff like that. I'm really backed up on work and on projects. I have like a ton of, like, I have like a list right here in front of me of projects I got to kick out. But yeah, no, I love it. The community's been awesome. You guys have been very supportive. Yeah, you can find me on Twitter.
Okay, cool. Well, like I said, you can find all Shaun's information in the description. So definitely check him out. And if you do need any graphic work, as we always promote around here, you've got Shaun LaBrie and you've got Diego, who's De Niro Primero. They are our go-to guys for anything we need graphic work-wise.
Yeah, we love Diego. He's awesome.
Yeah, we tried to get him to join us today, but as you know, he's he has younger kids and he watches them during the day, and it doesn't make for the capability to do podcasts.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
One day we'll get him.
One day, yeah.
I mean,
Dan, Zombie Steve Jobs, if you could do us a favor and get this whole iOS thing worked out, although to be honest with you, Steve Jobs probably would have doubled down on iOS being, segregated.
Oh, yeah. Tell you what though, man, being, risen from the grave, it really kind of changes your perspective on stuff. So you never know. I'm just going to tell you, it might, you don't know. I'll let you know. But yeah, I mean, find me on Season Gaming, Twitter. I'm there. D Rodriguez, WDSC. Otherwise,
what is the WSDC?
It's funny, that is when I worked at the school district. They give you like a assignment based on like if I worked at like say a Olathe East, it would have been like D Rodriguez OE.
Yeah.
So I was a support crew, so it was West Dennis Support Center. That's what that stands for, and I just did it. And I just kept using it. And I was just like, this is just going to be the easiest way to do it. So I just stuck with it, man. It's easy to remember.
Got it. All right, cool. I just realized we didn't even have to use the wet blanket, thing today. We've got to find more reasons to use that.
Yeah, for sure. We never used it yet, have we? Oh, we did last week.
We did. We used it once. Yeah, so. Anyway. Thanks again, guys. Chat, thank you as always for hanging out with us. It's been a lot of fun. Like I said, if you're not doing anything more important tonight, which is pretty much next to anything, I should be playing Dark Souls 3 on Season Gaming YouTube channel. Come check it out and hang out with me. Otherwise, we will see you next Saturday for the next Bitcast. Until then, take care.